Welcome back my fellow Python programmers to a brand new video, and in this one we're going to be setting up Python and PyCharm on our computer. So you probably already know about Python, but I'm going to delve just a little bit deeper and tell you more about it. Then I'm going to tell you why I chose PyCharm as our IDE. Then I'm going to show you the different areas that you can then proceed and go into after you finish learning Python and the potential careers that you can build. If at any point you feel that you're enjoying and you're getting value out of the contents of this video, please make sure to slap that like button because I need to beat the YouTube algorithm. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So even though you already have a good idea of what Python is, I'm just going to give you a quick overview and tell you why Python is the best language to start learning. First of all, it's very easy to learn. It has very simple syntax that is easy to understand. It's very beginner friendly and it's perfect for people that are just starting out with programming without any previous coding background. Second of all, it's very dynamic. It's widely used in various fields, including web development, data analysis, AIs, and scientific computing, and more. I'm going to show you some of these areas in just a bit. Third of all, it has a large library, not just a large library, large libraries. So Python libraries are a collection of pre-written code that provide additional functionalities. So for example, if you want to go do data analysis, you can find a library for that pre-coded code, pre-written code. If you want to go into web development, there's pre-written code for that. If you want to go into game development, there's also code for that. So huge amounts of libraries, very versatile. And also it's platform independent, meaning that it runs on all of the platforms that are available like Windows, macOS, Linux, etc. Now, why do we want to use PyCharm? Specifically designed for Python. This is the first very important point about PyCharm. It's very easy to set up because it's designed only for Python. Second of all, it has efficient project management. It's very easy to run, it's very easy to create projects on, and it's very easy to save those projects. It has a very nice and friendly plugin ecosystem. So if you ever want to open different files, plugins are basically extra software that you can install onto IDEs that allow you to have more functionalities, maybe open extra files like I was saying. And finally, it's cross-platform. Again, you can use it on any platform. If you have Linux, Windows, or Mac, you can use PyCharm. Now let's talk about what you can use Python for. So there are many different fields, as I told you, that you can apply Python to. One of them is web development, like building websites and web applications using Django and Flask. Django and Flask, you can go research them. I'm not going to dive into them. I'm not going to dive into these two libraries right now. But again, these are libraries that you can use for web development. Next, you have data analysis and visualization, analyzing and visualizing data. It's just like it says. You can use different libraries again, like pandas, matplotlib, seaborn. You can go research these. These are in-demand careers that most companies are looking for, and most of them, the best visualization and data analysis tools, are using Python. Next, you have machine learning and artificial intelligence. This is the whole hype right now. Machine learning has been here for a very long time. Artificial intelligence is a bit more recent, but both of them are AI systems. You can use TensorFlow and scikit-learn, again, different libraries. Number 4 is automation and scripting, basically automating repetitive tasks using scripts, more advanced than you can imagine. Scientific and number computing. So if you have any scientific research then you need to make, if you're anywhere near that field, you know that sometimes you have matrices in math that you want to compute or multiply or whatever. You can use Python libraries such as NumPy and SciPy. Software development, creating software application, pretty self-explanatory, needs more Python than libraries. Game development, I'm a game developer, I love developing games. I usually use Unity, but you can also use Pygame libraries. I do like Unity more, but if you want to develop games using Python, it's a bit more efficient, I think. So using Python is a great way. Cybersecurity, another great area, another very booming area because most companies have servers. They don't want hackers attacking them. Just recently, somebody, I think, hacked Sony and then stole all of their data. Another, like even right now, I heard Rockstar Games, the company that's responsible for developing games such as Grand Theft Auto 6 also got hacked and the information leaked and the hackers received a lot of money. You can become a hacker, although I don't recommend, I don't condone this behavior at all. You can also become a white hat hacker, which is a anti-hacker. He attacks the hackers, you know? So yeah, you can do that by learning Python as well. So let's go ahead and move on and start downloading Python. So the first website that you need to go through is going to be python.org/download/. I'm going to leave this in the description, or you can just Google it. Just type in Python download and you should come up to this page. As you can see right here, you're going to have, if you're watching this in the future, you'll probably have a version that's more advanced than 3.12. Don't worry. Everything is exactly the same. Everything past 3.6 is there's not going to be much differences. So basically you click on download and the download starts. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to download this because I already have it. Maybe you're working on a different operating system. So as you can see, if you're using Mac, you need to click on Mac right here. If you're using Linux, you click on Linux. And if you're using something else, you click other. Also, you have Windows right here. The second thing that you need to do is you need to download PyCharm. So again, type in PyCharm, download. You should get to this section. I'm going to leave the link in the description again. First of all, you're going to see the PyCharm Professional. This is a 30-day trial. If you want to become a professional developer, I recommend that you use PyCharm Professional. But since we're just beginners, we're going to go for the PyCharm community. Simply scroll down and you'll find it. Free, built-in, open source, perfect. The IDE for pure Python development. Very fast, very nice. And of course, if you have a macOS or Linux, you can switch between those three. Download PyCharm. Again, I'm not going to do this. I already have PyCharm. Everything is very, very simple. Just check the boxes. If you have any questions about the download, you can always ask me. Once you download Python, it should be very, very simple, very smooth. Then you download PyCharm, install it. Again, super smooth. At some point, also keep in mind that you need to download Python first, set everything up in there, and then download PyCharm, because it's going to ask you to restart your computer. Once you do that, it should work. Everything should be working fine, and you should get a window such as this one. Now, I've written Z and X because I don't want you to see my students' projects, but basically this is what it should look like. Again, yours might be a little bit more advanced. It's not gonna change anything, don't worry. 99.9% of the things are going to be the same. The first thing that you need to do once you have this is create a new project to make sure that everything works. Once you click on new project, it's going to give you the location of your project, and also is going to ask you about the interpreter. Now, this is where you need to be very careful. You need to select previously configured interpreter. If you don't have this option, you can select new, and then you need to locate your interpreter. Basically, where did you save this? For example, for me, it's right here. I have Python 3.11 and I also have Python 3.9. I used to use 3.9, now I'm using 3.11. It should be somewhere in the C if you're using a Windows, app data local program. This is where Python was installed, the python.exe. If you chose a different location, then you need to indicate to PyCharm that location. And basically from there, and again, if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments below. I'm going to answer them, or you can just do a quick Google search. Your problem has probably been solved by someone. And after you do this, simply inside of here, as you can see, YouTube, you can change the location of your project by clicking right here. I'm just gonna hit OK. All right, inside of the intro to dictionaries, no problem. Python for YouTube, intro to dictionaries, and you can add an extra backslash and give it a name like test project, and then hit create. And if you see this window, then you are good to go. So First of all, on the left-hand side, you can see that you have the main project and external libraries. These are the libraries that will allow you to write and run your Python code. If you ever use more libraries, then some of them will be downloaded right here, but you don't need to worry about any of these. All that you need to be worried about is creating a Python file that will allow you to write Python code. All right, so are you ready? Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to create a new Python file right here. And again, click on the burger menu, I think it's called. So click on the burger menu, select new, and then select Python file. You should see this if you've done, or if you followed all the steps correctly. Hit click. And also, if for some reason you don't see Python, make sure that you've clicked on the test project and then hit new, and you should see Python file. So right here, you are going to be prompted to name your file. You can name it anything, but keep in mind that whenever you're naming your Python files, you should always have an underscore in between the name. No spaces, no commas, only underscores. So I'm going to call this hello world file. Hit enter. And boom, as you can see, we are ready to write some code. And you'll notice that we also have a new file right here inside of our test project that is hello_world_file.py. Of course, .py stands for .python. So it will allow us, or this will tell PyCharm that this is a Python file and we are going to be writing Python, so it will compile it as a Python file. Once you have this, we don't need to look at it anymore. You can either minimize it right here, or you can just click again on this folder. So let's go ahead and create our first Python file. This is going to be very simple. This is just to test things out. So we're going to be printing a sentence, hello world, to our world. Notice that as I was typing print, I was getting suggestions, and this is a habit that I want you to get into right now. Whenever you type any code in Python, first of all, you have suggestions. This is called IntelliSense, and it should probably pop up for you very easily. So right here, you can see I typed in P. And PyCharm thinks, okay, so looks like Michael wants to type in print or pass or PyTZ. So I'm going to type in PR, all right, print. And now I hit tab, and you'll see that this autocompletes for me, and it doesn't just finish the print, it also adds the 2 round brackets. And this is very, very important to do because one, it will allow you to write code faster. That's one plus. Second of all, it will allow you to avoid any errors. So for example, right here, if I type in print without an I, you can see that I get a squiggly red line indicating that this is an error, which will stop my program from running. And also, if anybody sees you typing in print and then using tab and auto-completing all of your code, they'll be like, damn, this person has the skills to work at our company, or he has the skills to develop our software. It just builds up your credit. No, I'm joking, it's not like that. But of course, if they see you not using the autocomplete, they're like a bit skeptical. So make sure to use the autocomplete, saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of headaches. Also notice that I added an extra line. And when I added an extra line, a squiggly line in here disappeared. I'm going to talk about this in just a bit. But for now, I'm going to add these 2 double quotation marks indicating that this is a string, and we're going to talk about strings more later on. But in here, I'm simply going to say hello world. And now, once I've done this, I right click, and right here you can see that I have hello or run hello world file. Click on the run, and boom, there we go. We get hello world. Congratulations. Before we move on, let's talk about this little squiggly line that we just saw. So this is similar to the red squiggly line, but this one is a warning instead of an error. So the error, if I right click and I run, it simply stops my program from working. And you can see that sometimes PyCharm can help you solve the error. So for example, in here, it's not PRNT. Did you mean print? Yes, I did. So the red squiggly line is an error. It's fatal. You should always fix your errors. The second one is a yellow squiggly line, which is a warning. This is just a potential problem that can stop your program from functioning. But as you can see, if I right click and I run, it functions really well. So no problem there. So what is it? Well, whenever you see something like this, always hover over it and it will tell you what it is. In our case, it's pep8w292, no new line at the end of the file. I'm not going to delve too deep into what the pep8 rules are, but basically this is a style that the Python developers or creators have agreed that this is the best way to write your code, and they decided that you should add an extra line at the end of this code, so make sure to follow that. Another example of having a pep8, so for example, if you add extra spaces in here, this doesn't look nice, this doesn't look beautiful. So you need to write beautiful code. If you hover over, you can see pep8 white space before the column. So make sure to follow the pep8 rules whenever you can. Okay, so now that we've set up Python on our PC, we've made sure that it works. We've also downloaded PyCharm and tested out how Python is actually working. And you've learned a little bit about Python, how to just print out hello world. Now it's time for a bit of a challenge. And your challenge is going to be to set your journey up. So first thing you'll need to do is going to be to create a new Python project from scratch. Learn how to do that. Make sure you have the proper interpreter set. Make sure that it works. Create a new Python file and call it whatever you want. Inside, print out hello with your name instead of the blank line. Research online how to make all the letters of a string in the uppercase. Print out a few more lines, create an error out of the output, and understand why you have this error. And finally, I want you to take the time to imagine you have infinite programming skills and you create, or you can create, whatever you want. What would you create? So pause the video right now and go to the challenge. Okay, welcome back. So in here, project, or we click on the burger, go to new project, select the file where you want to save it. I'm just going to call it intro to Python, and then make sure that the interpreter is set up properly. Let's see, interpreter 3.11, proper location, hit create, and then it asks us, do we want to make a new window for this or just on this window? Let's choose this window. Okay, excellent. Now we need to create a new Python file. We make sure that we've selected the name of the project. Go to the burger icon, new Python file, hello my. And by the way, if you don't add a space, or if you do add a space without an underscore, the file is created normally. Don't worry about that. But it's better to have an underscore. It's better to have a single coherent word or sentence or whatever, and all of the individual names are attached together inside of your Python file name. Also, adding a capital H is not a good idea. So if you want to rename your file, you simply right click on it and you go to refactor, rename, and I'm going to remove this uppercase H, add an underscore, refactor, boom. And now I want to print out, oops, I didn't follow my own rule, print autocomplete, hello Michael. And actually I will duplicate this using Ctrl D. You'll learn this later on. Hello my fellow Python programmers. All right, there we go. Right click and run. Everything runs properly. Excellent. Now, how do we put all of this into the uppercase? You should have done the research. We click right here, dot. You can see we have a lot of options. Hit tab to autocomplete. And now when we right click and we run, boom, as you can see, hello, my fellow Python programmers. Okay, my fellow Python programmers, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got enough knowledge out of it. And if you did, please make sure to slap that like button. I mean, at this point, you just have to. In the next video, we're going to be starting with everything that there is to know about Python. And we're going to be starting with data types and creating variables. So if you want to watch that video, make sure to click right here. Right here. Yes. Start your Python programming journey and build the crazy thing that you wanted to build with your infinite programming skills. Can you see this? Yes. Boom.